Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kyle Clark.
And I'm Kim Christensen. Colorado Governor Jared Polis is celebrating President-elect Donald Trump's pick of a famous anti-vaccine activist to America's top health post.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has spread conspiracy theories on vaccines, cancer, transgender children, Jewish people. Today, Polis cheered the choice and echoed Trump's slogan that RFK Jr. will make America healthy again. Kennedy has a long history of false and misleading claims, like saying that vaccines cause autism, which is not backed up by decades of research. Kennedy has said that Wi-Fi causes cancer and that AIDS may not be caused by HIV. Kennedy has claimed without evidence that COVID-19 could have been an ethnically targeted bioweapon designed to infect whites and spare Jewish people. And he spread the theory that the COVID vaccine was designed to control people via microchips. Kennedy has linked chemicals in water to transgender children and linked antidepressants to school shootings, claims not supported by research. Just 3 months ago, Governor Polis said of RFK Jr. that he wasn't sure how bringing back polio and measles was going to make anyone healthy. But then today, Polis posted a lengthy statement on social media praising RFK Jr., specifically celebrating him for fighting vaccine mandates. When we asked Polis's office to square his recent past criticism with his current support, a spokesperson issued a statement backtracking, saying that Polis opposes RFK Jr.'s position on vaccines, but supports him on other issues. Democrats in Colorado have expressed shock and disappointment at Polis's embrace of a man best known for scientific misinformation.
When we have respected leaders like our governor giving credibility to that vaccine hesitancy, it puts our communities at risk.
State Senator Kyle Mullica, who works in healthcare, the head of the Colorado Democratic Party, released a statement that did not criticize the governor by name, but said that Coloradans believe in science, evidence-based health policies, and protecting public health.
President-elect Trump says one of the first things he'll do in office, abolish the federal Department of Education, sending control over education back to the states. Here in Colorado, that proposal is raising some concerns from the state's teachers union and the Colorado Education Association. An estimated 10% of funding for Colorado schools comes from the Department of Education. Some of that helps low-income students and students in special education programs.
Particularly here in Colorado, we're near the bottom of per pupil funding in the nation as a state as it is. And so likely any further strain on our funding system here in Colorado will have significant effects.
To approve it, Trump's plan would require 60 votes in the Senate. Republicans hold just 53 seats, meaning they'd need bipartisan support unless they eliminated the filibuster.
An audio recording shows Democratic Secretary of State Jenna Griswold's office was not going to tell county election clerks and the public that they had accidentally leaked voting machine passwords, out of fear it might cause a media frenzy. Griswold only notified the clerks and changed the passwords after the security breach was revealed to the media by the Colorado Republican Party. The passwords were inadvertently posted on her website in the hidden tab of a spreadsheet, sitting there for months. Clerks were upset that they had to find out through news reports. A newly released audio recording reveals Griswold's top deputy explaining to clerks that they would not have been told because it would get out to the public and the media.
Josh, I appreciate that you're expressing upset. And
I'm not upset, Chris. I'm pissed off, and it's really hard not answering media questions the way I actually want to.
Okay. I will tell you, all I can do is be as transparent as I possibly can. We were not going to tell counties because we could not tell counties without it becoming the media storm it has become.
It's Chris.
No, it is not.
The clerk there calling it BS, we should note, is a fellow Democrat. Election security experts say that the leaked passwords alone were not enough to compromise voting systems, which have layers of security. Griswold's office now says that she regrets that the election clerks found out from the media 5 days after she learned about the leak, but they insist that telling the clerks without, quote, determining the full scope of the issue and having what they called an outreach strategy would have been a risk.
More than a dozen elementary schools have sat empty since Jeffco Public Schools closed them down a year and a half ago. Tonight, the school board voted on what to do with 3 of those schools.
9 News reporter Rhea Jasmine listening in on that meeting tonight. And Rhea, what did we learn there?
Yeah, the school board just unanimously approved for the sale of all 3 schools, including the one we're at right now, Glennon Heights Elementary School. It's been right here in the middle of this Lakewood neighborhood for over 70 years. And we spoke with neighbors who've lived here for decades, so they didn't want to see this building torn down, but they also wanted to see something useful happen with the property as well.
Well, my wife and I go for walks in the neighborhood every morning.
Walking by an empty Glennon Heights Elementary for more than a year has been uncomfortable for Jerry Onan.
We miss having the kids over here, seeing them every day when it was an active school.
But that changes at Thursday night's Jeffco school board meeting.
So there's 3 schools that are being considered tonight for board approval on purchase contracts.
Jeff Gatlin, the chief operating officer for the Jeffco School District, is recommending a proposal for Glennon Heights that would turn it into a daycare for infant to 6-year-old children.
We're ecstatic about that. It's great for the people within our community. Some are already asking if they can enroll their kids in the daycare here.
Gatlin has 2 other recommendations for the school board: to turn Thompson Elementary into a behavioral health center for autistic students, and to sell Vivian Elementary to a developer for housing.
Yeah, I think it takes a specific type of user that's going to come in and reuse the facility as is.
At public comment, one speaker asked for more time to consider the options.
It was difficult.
Other than that, there was overwhelming support for these proposals.
Doesn't happen very often.
And there's nothing uncomfortable about that. That sale will give $9 million for the school district. That will be going to their capital reserve fund, which will go to maintenance for their facilities and experiences for their students. Reporting live in Lakewood, Ria Cha, 9 News.
We were treated to another gorgeous sunset over the metro area. Yeah, even though the sun goes down early, the sunsets have been beautiful. The mild and dry trend, it's continuing through the weekend, we hope, and then maybe things will change next week because we do need snow. It is that time of year, occasionally.
If only there's somebody that we could ask about that. Somebody standing by with knowledge.
Oh, there's somebody.
Corey Reppenhagen, how are you?
Hey, good to see you guys tonight. Yeah, we'll have another real nice day across the state of Colorado tomorrow with a fair bit of sunshine and some temperatures being pretty mild. But of course, we'll start out pretty cold here. These forecast low temperatures are all very close to the seasonal averages here, with upper 20s on the plains here and teens in the mountains, but we'll warm up here. Here's your day on Friday here in Denver. We're looking at a little bit of cloud cover early on as it moves through, clearing out in the afternoon hours, getting the temperatures up there into the low to middle 50s perhaps. And we'll be watching the changes. However, our next storm system is a live satellite and radar. You can see the jet stream right here off the state of Colorado, and we can make out the trough of low pressure here that will be coming our way starting on Saturday, and that'll keep us into a little bit of a wintry pattern coming up Saturday through Monday. I'll talk about that coming up in the forecast.
Jury in Adams County convicted a man today in a drunk driving crash that killed a woman and a Commerce City police officer.
9 News reporter Colton Chavez is here. And Colton, you spoke with that officer's father after the verdict.
Yeah, that's right, Kim. And he told me his whole family has been waiting for this ruling to happen for a long time. For context, it happened over 4 years ago, and he says it changed their lives forever.
We decided very, very early on to be thankful for what we had versus angry about what we lost.
It's a decision that Kurt Holland's father, Carl, says never got easier.
But my grandson was 8 months old. He had just called Kurt his daddy the week before.
Carl says those memories were still fresh in his mind throughout the trial.
Unless you've went through this process, there's really no way to describe what it's like when you hear the verdict. There's just not. There's so many emotions involved.
Prosecutors say Rosales Cano was driving drunk with a blood alcohol level nearly 4 times the legal limit when he lost control of his truck on Highway 2. They say he went off the road and hit 2 cars, killing Francesca Dominguez and Detective Holland. Carl says the trial may be over, but
I wouldn't describe it as justice. I would describe it simply as a degree of closure.
The closing of a chapter, but never the memory of his son. He says he remembers Kurt as the little kid who dreamed of serving in law enforcement just like his dad.
But he would say, someday, Dad, I'm going to have a badgie truck like Dad's, because I drove a little utility vehicle.
Carl says of all the memories, it's these that will help his family move forward.
The thing of it is, when we grieve a loss, what I think we have to keep in mind is there is a future if we choose to have a future.
Driver Frutoso Rosales Cano was convicted of vehicular manslaughter and driving under the influence with prior DUIs. Now his sentencing is set for January 9th. Colton Chavez, 9 News.